Coach Belichick has had an extraordinary amount of success. He's now won his 6th Super Bowl, which is more Super Bowls than any other coach. I think when you look back in our 99-year history on NFL championships, there's only 2 other coaches that have won 6 national championships. I believe it was George Halas and Curly Lambeau. So Coach has had incredible success and unprecedented success, and we're grateful to see him continue to bring football teams and bring them together in a way that I don't think any coach has ever done in the history of the game. So, Coach, come on up.
Get our photo here, Coach, with the trophy.
Okay, sure.
Can we get him?
You want to get it?
I can touch it.
You can hold it, too.
Thank you.
All right, Coach.
Thank you. First of all, I think Julian might have misquoted me. I mean, I have a ton of respect for plumbers. I can't barely turn the water on myself, so no, those people do a great job, and I think I said it beats working, but anyway, you know, I just can't say enough about our football team. Certainly, Julian epitomizes the work ethic, toughness, mental toughness, physical toughness, determination, will, and I'd say just extraordinary ability to perform under pressure. We have so many guys that do that well, do it in so many different ways, and you know, I think back to Julian's first year, and the question was asked about him playing receiver and returning punts. He played corner for us too, so he's truly in the mold of, you know, one of the great versatile Patriots, Troy Brown, Mike Vrabel, guys like that have done that for us through the years. You know, I'm so personally happy for Julian, and so rewarded for me to see the success that he's achieved and to be recognized for it last night. It was another incredible performance as he's had for us throughout the playoffs again this year. Just on behalf of the organization, Mr. Kraft and the coaching staff, the players, can't say enough about the, I would say, the hospitality from the city of Atlanta. They were just incredible. As we left our hotel and went back and forth to Georgia Tech, just the number of volunteers on the street, and I heard personally from friends and family that were here, just the amount of manpower that was mobilized to help make this such a great event, and to handle the visitors. It truly was Southern hospitality here, and I think we all felt that. The Hyatt did a tremendous job for us, and certainly Georgia Tech was a great. Again, we've had fortunately the opportunity to do this a few times, and Georgia Tech was a great facility. Coach Collins and his staff were so accommodating for us, and so it was a great part of the experience. Obviously, the game was special last night, and I want to thank and recognize our fans that came to the game. We certainly felt their support there in the stadium. It was kind of sort of like a home game almost, which is not the feeling you usually get at a Super Bowl, but it was great to have. And again, just can't say enough about the competitiveness of our team, our coaching staff, and the job that they all did all year long. But especially last night against a great team like the Rams, who really have led from wire to wire this season in the NFC, and we knew it was going to be a tough football game and a great football game, which it was, and I'm just so proud of the way that our team competed and ultimately was able to achieve a victory last night. So thanks to the City of Atlanta, the National Football League, Commissioner Goodell, and the entire Patriots organization for their contributions and effort this year. It was a tremendous season.
Coach,
Hello, Bill. Shanna McCarriston, Sporting News. Now, I know your dad has meant so much for you during your career. What advice has he given you that you're able to translate on the football field and maybe even use last night during the game?
My dad always told me to work hard, to whatever your role is on the team, which obviously when I started in the National Football League, it was about as low as you could get, which is what I deserved. But to do whatever your role is, do the best you can to help the team and contribute to it, and that's what I tried to do. From 1975, when I came in the National Football League under Coach Marchapota, to today. And my job is my job. I have a role. I can't do what other people do, and don't try to. I just try to do the best that I can for the team and in the position that I'm in, whether that's make decisions or organize things and so forth. So, work hard, be prepared, and do what's best for the team. And that's what I've always tried to live by.
Good morning, Bill. Sal Palantonio, ESPN. Congratulations, Bill. Bill, take us back to your scouting of Julian Edelman. What was it about his character and his skill set that said to you, this guy can help us long term as a football player?
It's kind of interesting. I've got to give Rick Gosselin credit on that one for getting us started. I talked to Rick. As we know, Rick followed the draft very closely, and at one point, he said to me, one kid you might want to take a look at is this quarterback out of Kent State. I don't think he can play quarterback, but he's a pretty good player. So kind of got going on him a little bit, and we're like, okay, what are we going to do with, what would we do with Julian? Is he a receiver? Is he a punt returner? Is he a defensive back? Is he maybe a guy that just, play multiple positions in the kicking game? So we went out and worked him out. How many times did we work you out? 2? Yeah. So send one coach up there, and I'm like, all right, well, let's send somebody else up there because we weren't really sure what to do with him. And so as it turned out, he came to the Patriots and caught passes, which he hadn't done before, returned kicks, which he hadn't done before, and played defense, which he hadn't done before, in addition to cover kicks and all the other things in special teams. So nobody has worked harder in my career than Julian to develop his skills and his craft in a position other than, I would say, Steve Neal, other than Julian, because he really didn't have any background in it. And we put him on defense and put him against good players in the slot. And obviously he's excelled as a receiver for a player that had no real college background doing that. I'd say the game that, and we've talked about this, the game that really impressed me the most in watching Julian was the Ohio State game. He didn't have a lot of blocking. And they were getting killed by Ohio State. But what you saw in that game was how competitive he was, how hard he was to tackle, and how tough he was. And even though it was 3-4 touchdowns or whatever they were behind on, he played the game with an intensity that honestly was hard for them to handle. They had a difficult time with him. And so you could see the competitiveness on film and the workouts. Then I still remember Julian us standing out there on the practice field catching punts, and me trying to tell you how to catch punts. And I had to actually go over there and show you, here's how I do it. So lucky I handled that one. But, as far as the ball spinning and which way it breaks and so forth. But anyway, so I just can't say enough. And I go back to his first playoff game against the Ravens when he was probably our best player on the field. Now, we didn't play well that day, and, we got hammered. But he played that game the way he played the Ohio State game when he was at Kent State. Catching a slip screen on 4th and 10 and, breaking 5 tackles to get the first down. And, it's an incredible story. And as was mentioned earlier, coming back from the injury last year, you just see Julian in there every day competing against himself, trying to get better, trying to, continue to rehab and regain the excellence at his position that he has come to do.
D. Orlando Ledbetter, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Coach, any thoughts on being mentioned with in the same vein with Curly Lambeau and George Halas and those dynasties in NFL football history?
It's incredibly flattering. Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching Coach Halas. He and my dad were friends, and Coach Halas's defensive coordinator, Chuck Mather, was a close friend of my dad's. His son later went to the Naval Academy, so Coach Shula, Coach Lambeau, Coach Landry. I mean, just go right down the line. Coach Walsh. I mean, I competed against several of those coaches, and then some of them I didn't compete against, but I was aware of Coach Lombardi from as a kid growing up watching the first Super Bowl and all the way through. So it's incredibly flattering, but really, it's for me, it's about what the team accomplishes, and the most important thing for me is for our team to be able to hold that Lombardi Trophy up and say that we were champions. It took everybody, it took the entire team and organization to put forth a superior and supreme effort to achieve that, and that's really what it's about. It's about how all of us came together and kind of pulled our weight so the team could achieve its goals. And look, Julian did a great job for us, but we had 45 other guys out there last night battling, as well as the coaching staff. And again, it's what we were able to accomplish as a team that makes me the most proud.
Last question.
Coach Paul Woody, Richmond Times-Dispatch, Richmond, Virginia. I know that you want to enjoy this game. I also know as a coach you're always thinking about the next game and the next season. This year you had almost a third of the team turn over. Would you anticipate something similar for next season?
It's the National Football League. Unfortunately, that's the National Football League. Every team turns over players and coaches every year. We'll certainly turn over staff members. Last year we turned them over, and again, but so does every other team. So that's the way it is. So we'll have to, whatever happens there or doesn't happen, we'll continue to try to do what we feel is best for the football team, and to be competitive in a very difficult and competitive league. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but just going to enjoy the results of this one.